Unreal.
Oh, I can't. Well, that's crap. All
What?
right. We're live.
Yeah.
Just not
What's
on
crap?
X. It won't let you go live on X.
It's because I'm banned.
Yeah, your ban will not allow you. It said no.
Oh well. Ain't no thing.
Ain't no thing.
Check
Oh,
this
yeah.
idiot
We
out.
should watch this.
Just have to remind you. Don't you ever let anybody take your power from you.
Mm-mm.
You have the same power that you did before November 5th.
You tell him, girl.
The same purpose.
How did this woman ever
And you have the
ever
same
become the vice
ability
president of
to
the United
engage
States,
and
let alone
don't
the
ever let
primary
anybody or any
candidate for the
circumstance
Democrat
take your power
Party?
from you.
How?
Dude,
I have to remind
tell
you.
me.
Don't you ever let anybody take
Tell
your
me
power
something
from
here.
you.
Does this not
You
look
have
like
the same power
she was
that you
there
did
having
before
some
November
drinks
5th.
Oh yeah.
And
with
you
some
have the
people at the
same
White
purpose
House and
that
was
you
like,
did.
let's put out a video?
And you have the same
You know what it reminds me of?
ability to engage and inspire.
He reminds me of like this is like their new thing, I think. Tim Walz's wife's the same way. Like a childhood school teacher, like a grammar school teacher teaching children and talking to like 12, not even 12, like 6 and 7-year-olds. Like, you are special. Remember that. Like, how are you in the position of power that you're in? It'll never make sense to me.
I don't know.
Oh,
But that is definitely 100%. She was drunk with some people on her staff and said, let's make a video. No question in my mind. My hat's all
I
jacked up.
don't usually show this shit, but it's just too funny.
All right.
I don't know what's
Public.
going on. I don't know what's happening here, but I know this guy completely misses that.
Oh, shit!
Oh,
Why would you dive? Like,
Shit!
wait,
why
start
would
that
you
over? What? Go back
They
to the
got him
video.
back.
there?
Look, he like
Oh my gosh, right onto his.
Shit.
That's horrifying, man. That
Oh,
guy's
he did.
dead.
he did.
he
Oh, he did.
literally like
Oh, he did.
dove.
Oh!
He did not survive
Shit.
that. There's no way
Oh, he
that
did.
he survived that.
Oh!
All right, we can't watch that anymore. Holy Jesus.
What was he like hoping to accomplish? Like, I could see, like, if I guess maybe they needed it to get down, those people, but why would you not like hang from it and drop or just drop?
I don't know.
This guy swan dived.
That's terrible. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. So, tomorrow's Thanksgiving.
Indeed, it is.
You excited?
Not really.
Why not?
I mean, it's Thanksgiving. It is what it is. I'm not one of those people with like a family in a $500,000 home that all gets together and celebrates. It's just a couple of my hillbilly relatives having us over.
Yeah, we don't. We just go to my parents.
They'll just judge me the whole time and tell me how it was wrong that Trump was elected and he shouldn't have been.
That sounds like fun, actually. That sounds like a lot of fun.
It sucks when the people that like your family that you care about when they're completely uneducated, especially the ones who you always held at like a higher respect for because they, accomplished something with their life, and then you find out like this late in life, like they're dumb.
Yeah. There's a lot of dumb people. What can you really say?
Well, like I told you, I think I told you this. My CPA uncle, who went to college, got a bachelor's, has been chief accountant for City Hall in York at one point, voted for Kamala Harris.
I mean,
The,
people.
the
people-
accountant, the accountant voted for Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
I even said to him, I said, how, with the way you know numbers, how could you possibly vote for her? I said, what about the 25% unrealized capital gains? And he said, well, that's one bad thing, but no, that's one really, really bad thing. Like, you're a homeowner, bud. That's a horrible thing.
Yeah. I know. Well, some people just don't think. You know, it's funny. I responded to this. Well, I'll just pull it up. Hold on. I responded to this. You didn't hear about people being transgender until recently. You didn't hear about Antarctica until 1820,
dear God.
but it was probably there the whole time. All I said was, we don't hear about Antarctica every minute of the day. We don't have 20 holidays and a whole month dedicated to Antarctica. Your analogy is fucking
Yep.
stupid.
Yep.
I mean, it's the truth.
No,
I got
I
people that
agree.
argued, but I don't really care about the arguments. I just, what kind of analogy is that? Like what? Okay, I mean, what?
I'm not the idiot that wrote it. Comrade Cisco is.
It makes me laugh.
So
But
dumb.
now we should get to this guy.
Mm,
Did you see this?
I did, but let me just point out,
What?
for like our entire lives, a transvestite was a person who wore the opposite sex's clothing
Mm-hmm.
and sexualized it. That was a transvestite. A transsexual was a transvestite with the intent to have an operation. Those were the terms. That's what they were. Now they call themselves transgender, but they also say my gender is woman. Call me woman, call me by my preferred pronoun, etc. But I got banned the first time around, ever got banned on X, was for calling someone a tranny. Apparently, tranny is a slur. Never mind the 60 people, the 60 wackadoodles calling me cisgender. I'm not cisgender. Like, if anybody's the cis here, it's you. You're a fucking sissy. You're a man dressing like a woman. So we're not allowed to call them transvestites. We're not allowed to call them trannies. And we're not allowed to call them transsexuals or she-males or whatever. Not allowed to do that. But you're supposed to call them woman and transgender. I'm not doing it. I won't ever do it. And if somebody doesn't want me on their platform because of it, guess what? I won't be on their platform because of it.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I just don't care.
I mean, James Carville, he has lost his mind. He's so far past the point of sanity. Like, if you watched him pre-election when he had a fucking meltdown on national television, it really confuses me because this man was a smart man. He was.
Yeah.
I mean, he got elected.
He comes across with a good message here.
Yeah, I mean, no. He's correct here. It's not a good message. It's I'm a crybaby. I'm a crybaby, and this is my copium. I was dead fucking wrong about everything, so now I'll blame it on the idiots within my party or establishment. He's still fucking. What he says is correct, but it ain't what he thinks.
All right. Well, let's watch a little bit.
If I told my mama, I got to slap you to win, And she said, son, is that going to help you close the sale? I said, yes, ma'am. She said, go ahead and slap me. Go ahead and slap me. You do anything you can to win.
I didn't
Understand
see
that. Understand that. There's nothing more important than winning elections. Okay, this is one I've worked on for a long time. I don't know if anybody will watch it, but it's important for me to get it on the record here. Okay? Welcome to all our YouTube Politicon fans. Take a little bit of a different direction today. I want to talk about 2028. Wait a minute, what are you doing? Yeah, I want to talk about 2028, election year. And I want to establish right now some principles. The main principle I want to establish is taken off the title of the documentary. It's about winning, stupid. Winning, and nothing else. We learned some lessons in this campaign. And to what extent should a person go
Marine Corps
to try to win?
Like, what a fuck face, man.
My view is that you would do anything other than break the law. So in my culture, in Louisiana culture, there's nothing more exalted than motherhood. We have this, I don't know if it has to do with like Catholic.
Hold
If
on.
I told my mama, I got to slap
Wait.
Louisiana, which is an evangelical parish. But at any rate, so you say, well, James, you do anything to win. You had this wonderful relationship with your mother, mutual idolatry, which a lot of mothers and sons have in Louisiana. In the documentary, and would you slap your mama to win an election? Of course I would. And you know what else?
You would.
If I told my mama, I got to slap you to win. And she said, son, is that going to help you close the sale? I said, yes, ma'am. She said, go ahead and slap me. Go ahead and slap me. You do anything you can to win. Understand that. Understand that. There's nothing more important than winning elections. I go to great lengths to explain
it's
that.
having leadership who
But
actually does
I have
what
to do that
we,
because
the electorate, wants them
we
to
forget
do.
it.
That's more important than winning.
So I'm going to expand on this somewhat. But there was the great moment on The View with Vice President Harris.
There's no great moments
and
on The
she was
View,
asked
asshole.
Sunny Houston, and I'm not a big View viewer, but it seems to me to be a pretty good show, pretty influential. And she said, what would you have done different than President Biden? And I understand. Said it before, but I got to reemphasize it because it's such a teaching moment. In her mind, she did not want to be disloyal to President Biden. That he had given her
essentially what he's saying is she's
stupid. Vice President had
and it's a good thing she wasn't elected.
His exit from the race in a way that, frankly, gave Democrats no alternative but to rally behind Vice President Harris's campaign. In other words, he said, reasonable people, ethical people that say
he goes off on a little rant. Hold on.
Yeah, I saw the
rant. By one rule,
he's clearly getting there
and winning. So let's go to some things that we saw in this campaign. And some, I'm going to be very clear, we had no choice. But in spite of that, the lessons remain. So I want to address our potential 2028 candidates. I know a lot of you. One of the things that I found most frustrating is I believe that the talent that exists in the current Democratic Party today in the United States is the highest level of talent I've seen in any political party anywhere in my lifetime.
Is he serious about that? Hold on.
You're listening.
Did he just say right now? Wait, what?
In the United States is the highest level current that I found most frustrating is I believe that the talent that exists in the current Democratic Party today in the United States is the highest level of talent I've seen in any political party anywhere in my lifetime.
What a fucking douchebag.
They don't even have anyone to go to run for president. They have no one.
What talent is he talking about?
I have
Seriously.
no idea what he's talking. The Democratic Party they are a wreck. They can't figure anything out. They can't agree on anything.
They literally just ran Kamala Harris because of how pathetic their choices are right now.
They ran Kamala because Biden said, "I back Kamala." I have no doubt in my mind that when they told Biden, "We're pulling you out of this race," he went immediately to, "Well, watch this. You're not going to run me, huh? Well, I got a little surprise for you." I think that's what happened. I think Biden was pissed. Nobody wanted her to run. Look at the news stories before all this.
That's the story they've been giving us, that when Pelosi forced him out, he thought it would be no, because he's just as dumb now as he was leading up to that. They had an intention to remove him and install Kamala Harris 4 years ago. That's why she became his vice president.
I don't agree with you on that.
100%, because I said everything that has happened, I said was going to happen 4 years ago today.
I think the only reason that he chose Kamala Harris is because she was a person of color. That's it. There was no other.
There was $1 billion that would have went the wayside.
I
only
don't disagree.
way they could use that money.
I don't disagree with you there. But there were still a lot of people when Biden was dropping out who were talking about other candidates.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. But let's look at the picture. Let's at the big picture here. You had Josh Shapiro, Gavin Newsom. Gavin has every intention to run in 28. He already did long before this. Why would he jump into a race with 90 days left and hope he could do it? He knows better. That's going to ruin his chances. Shapiro's Jewish. They were too busy fucking around in Gaza at the time. They couldn't run with a Jew. They had nobody. And if they went with Kamala, not only do they fill that void that they don't have, but they get to use the $1 billion that Biden had already raised from donors, because the donors made it perfectly clear that week when he backed out that they would not be sending more money. So
because I saw that they weren't admitting to the donors that their internal polling was showing there's no way they were going to win.
Yeah,
they were still telling donors that they could win this, and they were still getting money.
Yes, and I
don't even think that's legal.
Yeah, what I'm saying is they already got $1 billion for Biden from stringing the donors along and saying, no, he's not crazy. He's not okay. But the problem is, in an election, you cannot redistribute donations.
No,
if
I know
donate $1 billion to your campaign, nobody else can use it. They found this so-called loophole, which is yet to be challenged, and I'm sure it will eventually, trust me, that said that because she was his VP, she had a right to use the money, which I know she doesn't anyway. The reason that there's so much talk now about no, Biden just knew what he was doing, getting back at him, is because, one, that makes people on our side go, look, the guy did him in. That's funny. Ha, ha, ha. But it also takes attention away from the fact that they did, in fact, break the law by spending that $1 billion on her.
You may be right. You may be right. But when I look at Biden, Biden is gone. His mind is mushy.
Yeah, it's been.
We know that.
It was going into his camp.
No, I know that.
Elected, bro.
All I'm saying is he has moments of lucidity, okay? And I think that when they told him that stuff, Dr. Jill had a conversation with him. She was pissed. She was furious. And I think that they said, well, it was all, everybody, every podcast, everything you saw was saying who are the Democrats going to run? They can't run Kamala Harris. Everyone was saying it. Everyone.
No, I agree.
Because for the last 3.5 years, all anybody ever talked about when they talked about Kamala was she is a failure. Nobody was ever saying good things about her. Ever. I didn't even
No, especially not her boss.
left.
Literally not her boss. He hated her. They hated one another.
So
You're
I'm not-
muted.
listen, you may be right, I may be right. We're never going to know. No one's ever going to admit it. It's of my opinion that Jill put it in his head and said, "Hey, let's support Kamala before they can pick anyone else, and then they have to run her." Because they didn't support her. Did you see any support besides maybe like a couple of statements come out? You kept seeing Biden like go live on the air while she was live doing a campaign event, and you kept like, I'm not saying that all that was planned. Maybe they are just real stupid. Maybe that's what's going on.
No, they're real smart. See, you're missing my point here.
No, I'm saying
They're
the
real
Bidens.
smart. Oh, the Bidens? The
Yes.
Bidens are incredibly stupid. They always
Yes.
have been. Jill, if anything, was telling him, do not step down the entire time.
Oh yeah, she
Jill had
definitely
it in-
was.
Jill had it in her mind she was going to be the proxy president.
Yeah. But I guarantee you, once Nancy Pelosi and Obama called and said we're going to use the 25th Amendment and we're going to get rid of you, she
Which
had
they
no
were-
which.
Which they were going to do anyway.
Yeah. Absolutely,
Like
they
I
had
said,
to.
I've been saying that since he got elected with her as his VP. I said it. I stood in the office at the
Yeah.
shop and I told this to Dave. I said, they cheated to get him in. They're gonna, because leading up to that election, if you recall, the final year of Trump's presidency, they were pushing through the 25th Amendment, talking about it, making it plain and note it to voters. They were doing that. Everybody said, "Oh, they're trying to get Trump out, and I thought that too.
Mhm.
And then I realized, no. They were putting it in place so that once Biden's in, they can remove him, and they had every intention to do so. But things happened that kind of put them on a different path. And what I'm saying is, it's not that they're stupid; it's that they're incredibly smart. Because Pelosi made him step down.
Mhm.
We know she controls everything and always has, and she will continue to, sadly. But she made him step down. She chose to put Kamala in to save the $1 billion. Kamala got her ass handed to her. Now she's running along with the same narrative that we both would naturally assume. Biden knew what he was doing when he said, "Oh, I'm backing her." The only people that have told us that he said he was backing her is Pelosi. That came from Nancy Pelosi's mouth after she lost. After Kamala won, Pelosi went on television and said Joe was the one that recommended her. And I don't believe that for 1 second.
Yeah, but I was
think they
thinking that right when they picked her. Right when she announced that, right when she started getting the support, because remember at first when she said she was going to run and nobody was backing her at first. Obama wouldn't back her. Like Obama and Michelle were like the last people.
And yet they all got in line, didn't they?
Oh, of course they did. I'm not.
Now,
listen,
who has
they're
the
gonna
powers
get
to
in
make
line.
them all get in line, though? Who has that power?
I don't know.
Nancy Pelosi. Nobody
Yeah.
else.
Maybe. I don't know if she has more power than Obama, but
She bred and made Obama.
I don't disagree. But Obama has, I mean, think about, people still talk about they wish Obama could run again.
Like I said, they're incredibly smart. People think-
Everything
because-
he says, everybody hangs on it. It's like,
yeah.
why?
And so the go-to narrative is that Democrats are fucking morons. Look how stupid they are.
Yeah.
And most of them are. But there's a select few, Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, Barack Obama, who control Washington.
I don't
They don't-
disagree.
Not just the White House, not just the Senate, not the Congress. No, they control every aspect. If a Democrat wants to run for alderman in the middle of Iowa, she's gonna get involved there if she wants that person to win, and that's
Yeah.
just how it goes every time.
There's a select few. I mean, there's some rhinos on the right involved in that as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But what I'm getting
McConnell,
at is she is like
Thune.
she's like the general of the army of shady backdoor shit in Washington. And anytime something that she does fails, anytime something she puts in motion doesn't succeed, she then throws other people under bus. We can see it right now. Prime example is how they use race 24/7 to control liberal voters. But they don't just use it to control liberal voters. They use it to control idiots. Harry Dunn, David Lazarus, Adam West. What's the crackhead lady in Georgia, the DA there, Fannie Willis. All of these are people who went along with the Democrat plans to do illegal shit, and now they're all thrown under the bus. They're all up on trial for this, that, or the other, because they gave them a little bit to do as they asked, and now they're getting rid of them. And what are they going to do? Say, no, it was actually Pelosi. She told me to lie on the stand to say that the Oath Keepers did this or that. You don't get to do that. It's not going to do you no good. You're going to jail. They're all going to jail. And why these black folks who, in a way, are victims, but they deserve it for going along with it to get what they wanted. Harry Dunn got a book deal 2 weeks after J6. A regular beat cop at the Capitol who didn't even like coming into work on time gets a book deal, then suddenly gets to run for senator of fucking Washington, D.C. These people, every time they do this illegal shit and orchestrate something to control Washington, it either helps them or it blows up in their face. And if it blows up in their face, they have somebody to throw to the wolves. That's how she does it, dude. I'm telling you, that's how Pelosi does what she does. And that's the whole reason, no matter how much I want to be like, Biden's just had a moment of clarity and was like, fuck him. I'll fuck him with Kamala. And said, I don't believe it. I think she said, we need to run Kamala. He can't run. I told him no. And we need that $1 billion. Because there was a whole week of interviews and news talking about how they can't use that money. And then suddenly it was, oh, we're running Kamala Harris, and heard nothing about a recommendation until after she lost. Then it was Pelosi on television on MSNBC saying, well, it was Joe's idea to run Kamala. He recommended her. Is that right? Because I'm pretty sure he didn't want to drop out at all.
No, he definitely
He went
didn't.
into the Oval Office and said, listen here, bud, I run shit. And then the next thing you know, we're all watching the most ridiculous most ridiculous election cycle of my entire life. Kamala Harris should never have even been there.
No.
Ever.
No.
There's never a world where she should have even made it to, let alone past a primary. But they did 100 illegal things to put her on a ticket. And then when she lost, they blamed it all on him. He's the scapegoat. That's what it is, man.
Yeah. Let's watch a little more of this.
So if any of you are listening, I'm going to sort of give you some advice. Some of you will call, ask me, and I want to easily refer this tape. And by the way, the 2028 nomination is going to be worth a lot. Unless we screw it up like only we can do, we should have the presidency back. If there's a country in 2028.
It's Gavin Newsom. I mean, we already knew that 5 years ago.
Let's just
2028 is Gavin Newsom.
My first recommendation to you is pick your own people. That's right. Don't go back and get the latest trendy thing, the latest fad, because Vice President Harris, she was encumbered by a lot of things. She had Biden people. All right. Her campaign manager was Biden's campaign manager. Her headquarters stayed in Wilmington.
She didn't, by the way. He's totally wrong.
They didn't change the artwork. And to ask people like Miss Dillon, whose whole career she owes to President Biden, and it's a wonderful relationship. I respect that. But no
He's like
wonder
the old
you
guy who was
couldn't
smart at
answer the
one time
question
and
how
knew
you were
everything that,
different
you needed
because
info, you
you
went
didn't
to him.
have
But
your
now
own people.
he's
They
way
gave
past
you the
that point, but
keys
he's
to their
still trying to
car.
be that guy.
So don't,
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I get along well with the Obama people in Bax and in Messina. Uh, these guys are friends of mine. I think I would say very comfortably we have mutual respect for. But I'm not an Obama person. I'm a Clinton person. Obama would never. It would be really stupid to have me as part of the campaign because you have to have your own people. You have to understand that. Sometimes in politics, people want to chase the latest trend or the latest idea of someone that did that. No, because whoever the creator of that idea, that trend is, they have a loyalty somewhere else. They probably made money. They don't give a shit about you. You want hungry people around you that care about one thing, you and you winning. And that's all that matters. So let's talk about other conflict and loyalties here and other things that run campaigns. All right. This is two pieces of advice I'm going to give, and I'm very
He's
confident
so
in both of
far
them.
from reality,
Do not
man.
have your headquarters in Washington, D.C., or anywhere in the Washington Metroplex or whatever the fuck they call it. Be a plane ride ahead. Preferably, you have to change planes to get where you are. Because let me tell you something about these Washington assholes. They're not going to leave Northwest Washington. They're going to leave the Cosmos Club or whatever the fuck they go to. So get away from them as much as you possibly can. The second one, it's going to be controversial, but I'm going to tell you right now. No lobbyists. None, zero, de nada. To be a lobbyist is to be conflicted. You know, sometimes you learn lessons from other people. Whatever you think of George W. Bush, okay, not my intent to tell you what I think of him, but you pretty good guess. When Karl Rove went to work for him, he says, you can't have any other clients. You got to get rid of them all. Because Bush maybe was smarter than you think. He knew that there could be no conflict. So, and I like David Plouffe. I know him modestly. His reputation is very good. He's somebody that I would automatically have respect for. He's actually kind of state school guy. He's got a really cool wife. And he worked for Uber. And I guess he got a leave of absence. Well, you're conflicted, dude. You're conflicted. Do you understand like how many issues that Uber has? I like Uber. I have them on my what do you call it? Your app. I use them. I find them to be punctual and clean and a invaluable service that they offer. But they got issues, man. How do you?
Okay.
So don't have any and you have to create your own moment. I go back to the Harris moment on The View because I think it in a kind of rabbinical teaching moment way, its value is just stunning. So I was just starting in politics. It was for late start. Admit that. I was at the 1984 Democratic Convention, San Francisco. It was actually going to be 40 that October, but that's the first convention I went to. I was excited. There's nothing wrong with that. Why would you? First convention. And so I was working for the Senate candidate in Texas who got slaughtered. Okay. But I had a
Fuck.
kind of all access pass. Who got it for me, but somebody did. And I went to the convention hall. It was like 10 o'clock in the morning, but I was just kind of excited to see what it looked like. I'd never been in a convention hall. I can remember, what was his name? Frank Clement's address to the 1956 Democratic Convention, the keynote. I can remember all of them. Might have been somebody else. And there were some kind of custodial people and moving chairs around and sweeping around, getting everything straight. And on the podium, and there's Mario Cuomo. And he's giving the keynote address that night. And he's practicing. He don't give a shit. He's looking in the teleprompter. He's doing timing. He's making sure he got his lines just right. Make sure what he says right. He's practicing. And I was watching him and maybe two other people. To him, we didn't even exist. And that taught
and
me a
Carville's
lesson.
applauding this, by the way.
You have to practice,
I mean,
practice,
that tells
practice.
you everything you need to
And,
know
and
about this
one of the
man
great
and the
things that
Democrat
great
Party.
politicians have,
Mhm.
it worked.
He's literally
Change
like,
your
okay,
role.
if you're gonna
Like I'm
bullshit,
again say,
you got to practice your bullshit ahead of time. How about just go up there and speak to voters and tell them you're going to do what they want you to do? I mean, that's essentially your only job. But no, for all these people, it's all how do we got to go about bullshitting enough of them to get in and then take advantage of a million different fucking government programs to rip people off so we can become millionaires. That's what it is. They don't care about anybody. Nobody.
I know.
It's sick.
man, you brought attention to that problem. That you can't use their sanitized language to make a point. What I'm trying to say to you is you have to cut against the grain if you want this. And so John Stewart says, well, it couldn't have. Senator Lex Slotkin in Michigan, you do, they got to resign. They can't bring anything to it. So southern border, tariffs, trans. But you could definitely come up with 3 words real quick. Try to come up with a word for Harris.
Dumb.
Not much. I think had she said America needs a raise, and I'm going to give them one with the minimum wage. And I think that in my experience over a long period of time, there's nothing more popular than raising taxes on rich people to help other people who are not rich. And the whole idea, if you're thinking about putting together a 2028 campaign, get a lot of really rich people inside a committee. Don't tax you. Don't tax the guy behind the tree. Tax me. And if she would have just said, we did terrible with younger voters, we did terrible with younger voters, another expression I can't stand, but I'll use it, with voters of color. It's such an asshole way to describe people. Everybody that is not white is the same. It's so stupid. But anyway, we did what if we said we were going to raise minimum wage to, I don't care, $15, $16 an hour, and we were going to tax really wealthy people and use the money to help younger people buy a house, put in the first time mortgage. We would have signaled to people that you're there, that we're taking on the powerful special interests, the powerful billionaire class in this country. Is time for them to pony up. The vice president was thinking about going on Joe Rogan's show, and a lot of the younger progressive staffers pitched a hissy fit. Supposedly the campaign said that wasn't the term effective, but they did. When you put a campaign together and you hire young people to do work, let me tell you exactly what you tell these people, what I would tell them. Not only am I not interested in your fucking opinion, I'm not even going to call you by your name. You're 23 years old. I don't really give a shit what you think. And let me tell you another huge error, huge fucking error this made, is when people said campaigns need to reflect progressive values. No, they don't. No, they don't. Campaigns are authoritarian by their nature. And if I were running a 2028 campaign and I had some little snot-nosed 23-year-old saying, I'm going to resign if you don't do this, not only would I fire that motherfucker on the spot, I would find out who hired him and fire that person on the spot. I'm really not interested in your uninformed, stupid, jackass opinion as to whether you go on Joe Rogan or not. And there were people that worked in the White House that were protesting because they didn't like the president's policy in Gaza. Well, then get the fuck out of the White House. I'm
Hey,
every time that I think of this, I think of these Columbia protests.
He ain't fucking lying, dude.
no, that's why I said he's not wrong about it at all.
He ain't fucking lying. If you're listening to 23-year-olds at your campaign, you
Well-
got problems.
That's why I said they set her campaign up to lose. They took, for every 5 or 6 good campaign managers that were available, they went with number 7. The person who's always just lingered on the outside trying to get in, they said, hey, we want you to do this. They literally chose the worst people to run her campaign, and she's stupider than a fucking bag of rocks, so she don't know what's good or bad. She just followed what they were telling her. She was set up for failure from the start. Not that I believed she had any chance to win anyway. I mean,
No.
it's Kamala Harris. That'd be like saying, the mayor of my town could be president tomorrow. No, it doesn't work that way.
Here you go.
Hey, there's my boy.
After publicly coming out against President Trump's mass deportation plan, Michelle Wu, the mayor of Boston, is now backtracking and saying that she never intended to pick a fight with border czar Tom Homan. Gee, I wonder why.
Yeah.
Because that guy doesn't mess around. He knows the law and he ain't messing around. You will go to jail. I tell you, dude.
I don't care what you are. He don't care what you are. Governor, mayor,
No.
doesn't matter what you are. If you refuse, if you try to stand in the way of him deporting illegal aliens in your area, you will be arrested and you will be charged with aiding and abetting. We got I don't know if you know this. Washington Redskins, or Commanders, are now going to be using their Redskins logo again.
Yeah, I heard that.
So apparently they're finally realizing it was stupid as hell. Look, all those people that threw a fit back then for them to change it, they changed it. None of those people were interested in football.
I
which
heard
we all
that.
knew then.
I heard that somebody from. So the actual logo was based on some chief
Yeah.
somewhere, and
Yeah.
his family came
Wasn't
forward
just
and said,
based on it. He
"Can we put
literally
him back
drew
on?"
it.
Yeah,
He made the logo.
yeah. So I heard
Yeah.
that family was like, "Yo, put it back on. What are you doing?"
Yeah, they were pretty pissed off.
And finally, they agreed to put it. Well, now that the stupidity is over, and
Yeah.
you got NFL players doing the Trump dance, and you got, you know what I mean?
You
Like,
know what I think happened? I'm gonna tell you the truth. You know what I think happened?
what's that?
They saw a record decline in sales of merchandise and said, you know what? It's Trump's elected again. We can get away with it now. Let's go ahead and put the logo back. That's
Yeah.
what I think. Because this is a team owner who forcefully noted that he will not be changing his team's name. He doesn't care what anyone has to say. And then within the same year, he became the Washington football team because he didn't know what to call his team, to the Washington Commanders. And then we all told him when they said they were going to be Commanders, don't do that because people were just going to call you the commies. And guess what? That's what happened. The Washington commies. So fitting, especially when you changed your team name and logo over DEI bullshit, inclusivity. Okay, so there's a hand recount happening in Michigan, and 21 ballots are missing. And they said, the quote was, they were likely disposed of. Here, I got you. I'll play it.
It was. I think it was Minnesota. I think it's Minnesota.
About 21 absentee ballots that are unaccounted for. They have 21 absentee ballot records that don't have actual physical ballots associated with them. Republicans have questions about that and election results that seem to change on election night after it appeared 100% of votes had been reported.
Yeah.
Just a main concern about some of the integrity of the results of, if we say 100% of the votes are in, how can that number change? So just hoping and praying that the actual result is clarified today, as well as any discrepancies that happen in the tabulation process on election night.
So while the results are working in Representative Tapke's direction so far, this is not over. House Republican leader Lisa Demuth issued a statement late today saying that Republicans could contest the election based on the 21 absentee ballots that are unaccounted for, because that is greater than the sum of the difference between the two candidates right now.
How about that?
Live in Shakopee,
Yeah,
Tom
imagine
Hauser,
that.
5 Eyewitness News.
All right, Tom, it sounds
You remember on our election night stream, I said, watch, we're going to have multiple places where it's like 20 ballot difference. And here we are.
Oh yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah. And it just so happens that many
Yep.
are missing.
How about that?
And now they were thrown away, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just saw
14 vote difference costing Republicans that House seat. 14 votes. They're claiming that we lost that House seat by 14 votes.
Yep.
And yet 21 ballots are missing on a hand count to verify it. It's not going to go well.
Here you go.
We knew they would steal a seat or two.
Just had a wonderful conversation with the new president of Mexico, Claudia Sheinbaum Pardo, however you say it. She has agreed to stop migration through Mexico and into the United States, effectively closing our southern border. We also talked about what can be done to stop the massive drug inflow into the United States and also U.S. consumption of these drugs. It was a very productive conversation. That was not that long ago, an hour ago.
For those of you that don't speak Trump, if you don't speak Trumpinese, what he was saying is, I called the dumb bitch who was flexing on me on television, and I told her, this is not how it's going to go down, and if you continue to talk shit, I'm going to fuck you up.
Pretty much.
You believe the bitch stood on TV and said, well, Donald Trump wants tariffs on us. We're going to tariff him. Lady,
Yeah,
there's
that's
nothing you're making in
insanity.
Mexico that we don't make here. You're hurting yourself. By all means, do that. Please do that. Please, you're just going to help all these companies who have a fucking plant in Mexico come back to the United States. So please, you go right ahead. Save us the hassle. Fucking idiot, man. Well, it's like what happens when you put a bimbo in charge of something she doesn't know the first fucking thing about. That's what it is.
Not smart. Not smart. I can tell you that.
She's a brain dead idiot. As with most DEI hires.
Apparently, there was a Zoom call today with Waltz and Harris. And a bunch of people were hopeful that they'd announce a recount.
Yeah,
It didn't happen.
Waltz's wife has been pushing for them to try to get a recount. Not Waltz, not
Waltz's
Kamala,
wife is an idiot.
Waltz's wife, who was like Jill 2.0. She thought if they won, she was somehow going to be in a position of power. She's the one that's on stage weekly still talking about how they're not done yet. And you got this fucking fat retarded dude from Minnesota who had no intention of actually succeeding, who's like, all right, it's done, let's move on. And then his wife's like, nope, no, I'm not done yet. It's ridiculous. You can recount all the fuck you want. You guys lost. You lost the electoral college, and you lost the popular vote, and you lost the House, and you lost the Senate. So Get used to it. Stop crying.
You know, I've been talking recently with a lot of people from Canada on X. Just
Yeah.
having conversations about things going on there. And I got into this argument with this girl we were talking about the insanity of housing prices in Canada. And she told me, well, it's not that big a deal because it's just in the large population centers that the housing prices are shooting up. And I said, oh, well, you know, not a big deal. Did you hear that, Canadians? You can just move to the middle of nowhere and you won't have to pay a lot for a house. And she
Yeah.
named some place, and I don't remember what it was. And she said, tell that to the people of this place. Lots of people live there. So I looked up the inflation there. It's gone up by 50% since 2019. 50%.
You know, most Canadians actually can't stand their governments up there.
Of course.
But there are some seriously stupid ones,
Oh, there's a lot in Vancouver.
just like there is here.
Oh, yeah. It just blew my mind that this girl's trying to argue with me. And it's just like, you're telling Canadians it's not a big deal. Canada is a gigantic country
Yeah.
and very few people live there. So what are you telling people? They can, if you want to buy a house, you just can't live in a place where you can have a job. No big deal, right? It's not a problem. Just move to the middle of nowhere, live with the bears. You'll be fine.
Essentially what it is here too. There's
I
a
know.
lot of land in the US where if you want to, you can just go build a little cabin and live off grid and it won't cost you much of nothing. The problem is there's no work, there's no infrastructure, that's the biggest issue. Like my entire life since childhood, I've looked at the Industrial Revolution as a failure, even though it's praised and celebrated as the accomplishment of the United States. No, I think it's what ruined the United States was the Industrial Revolution. They didn't know when to stop, and they went overboard. That's my personal opinion.
Unbelievable. Like, I hear they are talking about the Commanders. Insanity. What, are they going to change the name again?
No, they said they're going to keep Commanders, but go back to the Redskins logo. That's what they said, but they did specify at this time we're doing this. So clearly they just want to go back to Redskins, but they're just scared to dive right back in. So they're taking it slow, I think. I think that's what's happening.
Well, they shouldn't have any fear because right now nobody cares.
Nobody cared to begin with, and that's what they didn't understand.
Well,
That a couple people crying like tears and oh, it's so racist and we hate it and it's hurting us. The words are hurting us, and they actually fell victim to that ridiculous argument. Even though the whole time there was millions of us saying these people don't care. They don't watch your product. They don't
Nope.
purchase your merchandise.
nope.
They don't matter. And they went ahead and followed suit anyway. And then immediately after that, those people up and left. And half the people who used to be fans and used to spend their money on their product stopped. So now they're crying. Trump getting elected, I know it sounds ridiculous because Trump has nothing to do with this, but Trump winning re-election has resulted in all these companies that are, so DEI and woke. Now they're finally backpedaling. Walmart's doing it too. Walmart this morning announced they're canceling like billions of dollars worth of DEI equity classes and all these, anti-racism courses that they had all like in line for their employees and businesses. They're canceling it all now. I'm telling you, it's these people are the same people that in 3 years from now will be blaming Trump for this, that, and the other. They're seeing his election as a scapegoat for them to be who they really are and save money on all these stupid ass DEI shit they've been doing, but seem like, oh, it ain't our fault. Trump was reelected.
Did you see that? Did you see the other story? Gavin Newsom in California with the EV rebates.
No, I didn't.
So Gavin Newsom is creating a big rebate. It's like $7,500 for buying an EV in California.
Yeah, they've had something like that already out there. I don't know what.
I think they have one now. I think it might be smaller now. I think they're raising it, something like that.
I was gonna say,
Regardless,
I actually thought it was more than that. So maybe that's it. Maybe they're lowering it or something.
he's decided, or he's deciding that he's going to keep Tesla off of that because Elon Musk is un-American, is what he said. So the only quality EV maker in the United States
Yeah.
will be the only car that nobody's buying any other electric vehicles. Nobody. There's no other
But,
electric vehicles on the road.
I don't know if you're aware of this, but a few years back, there was this. It was held in California. It was like the Committee of Green Energy or something like that, where they were giving a grant to whatever electrical vehicle supplier was producing the most products at the time.
Mhm.
And at the time, Tesla was ahead of everybody by like 200 million vehicles or something. Like they were so far ahead, it was like no question Tesla should be getting that grant. Newsom gave it to GM, who at the time had only produced like 12 cars nationwide. He gave it to GM and gave them an award, and that was why Elon was like, well, I'm going to take my business and go to Texas then. Fuck you. Like, you have this big ceremony celebrating the leader in EVs, and then you have the leader sitting in the crowd while you hand an award and a bunch of money to somebody who hasn't done a fucking
It's
thing
so
yet.
stupid. Nobody in California is buying a Chevy EV.
No. And that's the fucked up part is at the time, they actually they had produced like 12 volts or something. Like they didn't even have like an electric car assembly line yet, but somehow it was GM was the so that just goes
Stop
to
it.
show you like the backdoor deals that go on in politics. In the US. I am certain that was federally backed money, so I'm certain Newsom got a little out of that by giving it to GM. Like I'm not stupid.
And I read something.
But that's what started the like fuck you California for
I know
for
that,
Elon.
but-
That was the first like thing.
But this thing, I saw somebody post something on X about Gavin Newsom banning classic cars in California.
Yeah.
And
He still
I-
has a little
I
mandate
started-
thing.
I started doing a little research, and there was nothing out there specifically saying he was banning classic cars, but I did run across an article with a guy who was sent a letter from Gavin Newsom's team. It's a survey that goes to everyone who has a classic car, and it had all these questions on it about how often do you drive it, and like all these questions that are like, that's what they send out before they ban classic cars.
Yeah, and that's the plan. It actually is in one of his bills. I don't remember what bill it is. I'm going to look while we're talking about it. Maybe I can find it. But one of his bills, it's included in it. By 2028, there will be no more. If it's not already in California and registered in California, you cannot bring it into California if it's pre-emissions. And then even new cars that are manufactured are not, the dealerships in California are not going to be allowed to sell. A brand
I know
new
that.
DPF pickup truck cannot be sold in California. When it's one of his bills, though. It's like a big bill. One of the green bills they do. and
I,
that's just in it. So that's just what you're saying. This guy's little census form was. That's exactly what it is. They're trying to gauge multiple things. So here's what they'll do now. Like you said, they want to know how often he drives it and this and that.
Yep.
Because if it has a classic or an antique tag, they're going to add more restrictions to those
Yep.
vehicles. And they're
Exactly.
going to go off, okay, well, if 50 guys who all have a classic car said they drive it 1,000 miles a year, we're going to limit the cars to 500 miles a year.
Yep.
That's what they're doing.
That's exactly where it's going.
goal.
So I made that into a TikTok, and it's at 336,000 views, and
That's good, man.
Californians are melting down. I mean, I'm talking, you should see, it has like 5,000 comments, and you should see they're like, get rid of Newsom. We're done. That's the end. Screw Newsom. I mean, that literally that, I'm not kidding when I say, think about
you might have
California is the
single-handedly cost him his re-election.
California is the king of classic. That's where classic cars are. Like,
So,
they're everywhere there.
yes, yes. But I could say one thing for certain: they are stupid priced
Mhm.
there. Stupid.
Mm.
price. I can go right
Oh, I
down the road
know.
to West Virginia and pick up a
course.
1950 anything for a
Of
couple
course.
$100, and
Yeah.
then I can literally trailer it to California, do nothing to the car, and sell it for $7,000.
Of course. I understand that, but I'm just saying, think about
Yeah.
all the businesses he'd be closing doing that. Think about all the I mean,
He doesn't
all
care.
the local shops that do all the custom work. Like,
Care, man.
that could, I am not kidding when I say that one issue could cost him an election. Just that issue could cost him an election.
He's still got Aunt Pelosi, Aunt Nancy in his pocket.
I know
so,
that.
You know,
But-
until we find a way to extort her, he'll keep coming back. That's just the way it goes.
I just thought it was hilarious. I think it's hilarious that I caused a meltdown of
That's a
more
good,
than 250,000 people.
man. That's just now. Wait till it picks up its second burst of steam. Video with that
may.
much on it. I'm telling you, every video I've had that's gone big like that,
Yeah,
it
may.
like dwindles down, and then I go like 2 months go by, and all of a sudden I see this giant surge, and I look, it's that one picked
Yeah,
back up again.
I'll repost it in like a month. Just to, I just want I want every person in California to see that video.
The problem isn't that Californians are voting for him. The problem is California is rigging elections and has been for 30, 40 years now.
Yeah,
If every person in California got up, stood in a line like hands across America, and all voted for a Republican candidate, the Democrat would still win.
yeah,
And there's no refuting it.
I definitely don't deny that.
Sadly, that's just the way it is. Damn, what the fuck? Okay, I don't even know what this is. I'm gonna pull it up though. Since it's our favorite host, she's got a message, Thanksgiving message for the MAGA trolls.
To the people who say the undocumented, who they get to call illegal immigrants, like the Pilgrims had permission to come here, have to suffer the consequences of their actions, right? They made the choice to overstay their visas or come into our country illegally. So if they get deported, consequences. But you right-wingers shouldn't have to suffer the consequences of your votes. You don't want to be around me because I voted for fascism. No fair. I'm coughing on you with COVID, but you want me to wear a mask for your safety? No fair. My body, my choice. Well, here's an alternative.
All she's doing is like,
Make your own dinner, MAGA. Make your own sandwiches. Wipe your own tears. Troll amongst yourselves with Elon and leave us alone. You got your heart's desire, the president you dreamed of and worship instead of Jesus. And this time, you didn't even have to storm the Capitol, smash the windows, or try to kill police officers or issue death threats to poll workers. See, you did it just by voting this time. Congrats.
Yep.
You got your
Now
way.
let's take a look at your
And
ratings.
he even got away with breaking the law. Yay.
This is copium. at
But
its
if you
finest.
expect the 73 million who voted for the prosecutor, not the felon, and particularly the 92% of Black women who voted for Kamala to give you a cookie for your vote, a trophy,
We
a
don't want
hug, a
nothing
high
from
five,
you, lady.
Not a
Now
thing.
Now you're on your way out.
if we want to eat with you, we will. But if we
I don't
just
want you to
want
eat with me.
holidays and
You are
we
not
don't wanna put up
invited.
with your trolling while we eat our tofurkey,
You are not
Get over it.
welcome.
stop acting like we owe you.
Joy.
For God's sakes, stop whining. It's embarrassing. Our Thanksgiving,
The biggest
our choice.
copium. She literally came on and whined about everything she said throughout that was just reaffirming everything we've claimed about them the whole time. And then she ended it with, because we, if we decide to, we'll eat. No, bitch, you won't even nobody because you're uninvited. You never were invited. You never would be invited. And you're about to lose your job. God, I can't wait. There's
Wow.
certain people that should have been removed from their roles a long time ago, and she is one of them.
My God, I can't wait.
She is a racist pig. Wants to talk about threats? I'll threaten her.
No, we don't want to do that. Yeah, that's just crazy. How I don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't understand why.
She called us fascist and then complained that we didn't want to wear a mask. Like, can you be any more of an oxymoron?
Just unbelievable. Tax money. No, that's not it. I had something here and I don't see it.
Well, while you find it, I'm going to go ahead and put up Dan Crenshaw.
Yeah, please do. I watched Dan. I watched this clip. We can talk
Dan's
about
an
it.
establishment member, though.
Yeah.
love
Well,
you.
we can watch it, then we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Play it.
For a ban on Congress members trading stocks?
Yeah, I mean, this is like number 1,000 on my priority list of things to care about. This is one
course
of
it
those
is, Dan.
stupid things that I've been dragged through the mud on. You know how much fucking money I've ever had in the stock market? About $20,000. And yet I've been dragged through the mud on this as if like there's some insider trading. I just sent a letter to Fox News, demand, a threatening letter from my lawyers, threatening them with defamation because Jesse Waters had basically insinuated that I was insider trading. Of course, it's not true. You'd be more surprised how much little information we have. This is one of those bills that, like, of course, yeah, people support it. Yeah, sure, okay. Who cares? Because I don't have any. I barely have anything in the market anyway.
I barely have anything. Just
Are
20
there a
grand.
couple cases like where?
Why don't you show us, Dan?
Pelosi has
Yeah.
some very suspicious timing of her trades. Yeah, that has happened. But nobody else can point any.
Before he goes any further, just for anybody watching, it's not coincidental specific timing of Nancy Pelosi's trades. Nancy Pelosi authored and signed a bill to limit how much Visa stock can be sold at once. And her and her husband sold thousands of shares of it the day before she had that bill pushed through in Congress. Understand that's beyond insider trading. She literally controlled the stock market with her authority in Congress.
Other
Anybody that doesn't believe me, feel free to go look.
examples out. So sure, yeah, why not? Don't let us trade stocks. How about we'll just keep whipping ourselves. How about we don't make any money either? How about like just cut our paychecks?
Yeah, that
We haven't
sounds
had a pay
pretty
raise
good to me.
since 2008. Even a
Well,
COLA increase.
We don't need to
So
do
no,
that.
actually,
How
no,
about
yeah,
we
this is a great idea. Let's make Congress a place where only the millionaires can actually afford to do the job. This is a wonderful idea. Let's just keep doing.
What does he need?
What do you need money for to do a
the
job?
He
Please
needs to
explain,
get up
Dan.
and go to the Capitol in the morning and sit in a seat for a few hours and go home. That's it.
Please explain,
is-
Dan. What do you need money for to do the job?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is an establishment candidate. This is a
I've got-
Republican. who
I've
is
got an
here to
idea
make
for
money.
you, Dan. I've got an idea. Go down to the Capitol, read the fucking bills, and vote on them.
How
The
about
whole
that?
bill. Read the whole
How
fucking
about
bill and then
We'll-
vote on it.
We'll send you some boxes of pens, Dan, because we know how much you need those and how much money's needed apparently to sign bills in legislature.
Doing that because and then some it's always some member, right, who senses the populist energy and then mirrors it, believing that this is what's going to help me connect with the people. Because what do the people want? Well, they want an easy button. All my problems will be solved if there's no stock trading. All my problems will be solved if there's term limits. Yeah, but if you think about any of these things for 5 whole minutes, you might quickly come to a different conclusion. Now, what I vote for? Yeah, sure. Who cares? Who cares? Like, it doesn't
care.
matter to me because I don't
Your
have any fucking money
constituents
to put in
care,
the stock
Dan.
market.
And you have been hired to do what we want you to do, which is why term limits will be a good thing, because when someone like you isn't doing what we voted for you to do, you get the fuck out and we get the next guy in, and hopefully he does what we voted for him to do.
And the other thing is, how dare you, Dan,
Yeah, this
tell
is fucking
us-
entitlement at its finest.
how dare you tell us that you don't have any inside information?
Yeah.
You literally vote for the bills that build and destroy companies.
Yep.
How fucking dare you say that shit?
Dan can get fucked. It's a goddamn shame because when he was first ever running, I was like, cool. This guy's cool, man. I like him. He ain't no different than the rest of them.
I'm
Uniparty establishment candidates. They're not there for us. They're there for each other to get each other rich. So see, Dan doesn't go ahead and do the insider trading, but when Nancy does, in return for his silence, he gets what it is he wants. See, that's how these people work. It's not about Democrat or Republican. It's, I'm going to do this illegal thing, and you need to look away, and I'll allow you to do that illegal thing. And we both get rich. That's how they work. That's how they function. Oh, shit.
what?
I don't know. Some dude randomly just threw a table off his fucking skyrise roof. I don't know why. You just see these little videos pop up when I'm trying to get through to find something else. So the Krasenstein twins as they keep saying, they're twins, they're twin brothers. No, they're married husbands. I saw their marriage certificate. Anyway, they haven't posted in over a week.
Yeah,
Not one single post.
I think they quit.
Yeah, I think somebody stopped paying them.
Yeah, it's
That'd be
called the
my guess.
DNC.
Yeah, it'd be my guess. Payments stop coming in, they're not going to post, huh?
Yep. That's exactly what happened.
So it pretty much confirmed us believing that they were just paid shills for the longest time.
There's plenty of those. Oh boy, this is. I scroll through my For You, and it's just like I need a break from it.
How about that?
it's just these people, just everything that happens is they're having meltdowns about Trump and the 25% tariff on Canada and Mexico. Well, look at what happened. That
Yeah.
was the point. They just don't understand because they put these establishment people in as president that do the same thing, that continue to get us fucked over and over. You know, we're talking about tariffs, and do people even understand anything about tariffs? Do you understand
That's the
how
problem.
bad the United States gets screwed constantly? Look at Europe. Europe can sell their vehicles here, German vehicles, right? We charge them a 2.5% tariff. You know, if we were to send a Ford over there, how much it costs? They charge us 10% tariff.
Yeah.
How,
There's a
you
reason
know,
you don't see American motors in foreign nations very often.
and I understand, you know, we've done some good things with tariffs in the past. Like, look at after World War II, we stopped all tariffs on Japan so they could rebuild their country. We send them all kinds of stuff. And I mean, we did, you know, we did drop atomic bombs on their country, but
Just two.
just wiped out 2 whole cities. I mean, and I shouldn't laugh about that. It's not funny. But we did the right thing. We made it so that we could send our products there. They didn't have to pay for it. But that tariff didn't come off until like 1984. We didn't add tariffs again until like 1984. They had 40 years. And you know, to be fair, Japan, there's no tariff for us to send cars to Japan. And that's fantastic, but there is a huge tariff on produce that we send to Japan. But let's be honest, I don't know if I lived in another country if I'd want American produce either. Look who's in charge of it. Look at what they do to our food. I probably wouldn't want it either.
How about that?
So sad. Oh, sorry, buddy, but
Too many people are too comfortable living in an authoritarian. Oh, dear God.
sorry, Gary, you're out.
Oh, man. I was so looking forward to that, too. These sick, disgusting pigs. It's like it's a form of denial, you know?
Oh my
She
God.
knows nobody wants her fat, disgusting ass. It's like your buddy that you kick his ass every time you play a game with him, you know? What is that?
I don't know. I don't know what's going on here, but I'm going to play it for you. Oops.
When someone, what? Yeah, use a red font when you're wearing a red shirt, you idiot.
When someone hits your car and tries to flee, but the 71-year-old and mama bear in you chases them down. What? Okay, let's watch it.
Girl power. I already see it coming.
No, but we're fucking broke! What? We're broke and we can't afford irons! It's not my problem. Why can't you have a heart? Have a fucking heart! Please! No. Fuck you! Piece of fucking shit!
Incredibly forced.
Anybody did that to me? Oh no, the car's bruised! Who cares? It's cosmetic bullshit!
Oh, so this girl in red hit the other woman's car and tried to run away.
Yes.
And now that's why she's playing victim like she is. Okay, I get it.
Yeah, apparently she doesn't have insurance and she can't afford to pay for that. Well, I mean, if you can't afford, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is to that. If you can't afford insurance on your car, you're going to have to work something out. Or you're going to get sued. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Like, if you hit my car, dude, you're going to pay for it.
That's kind of why they made insurance like mandatory
Yeah.
in 48 states now, is because I agree you shouldn't be required to have insurance to drive your vehicle. You shouldn't. And if you fuck somebody else's vehicle up, it's on you. They could sue you. The problem is they sue you and then they never get their money anyway. And rather than the courts having to deal with that repeatedly, the government saw a simple solution that would also net them a lot of income by, ticketing people who don't have insurance. So it was win-win for them.
Yep.
And that's what happens when you're a crappy human being. You spoil shit for everybody else. You used to not need insurance in Florida. And you shouldn't. It's insurance. It's something you choose. You choose to be insured. There's no excuse. There's no reason we are forced to have it by law under threat of arrest.
Oh. Elon Musk said, well, they said the IRS getting audited by Doge. And Elon Musk responded, gonna happen.
Yeah, I should hope so.
Oof. Boy, is that going to be something. What the? That is going to be something.
Well, maybe I'll get the $5,000 they owe me.
I doubt it.
Instead of threats of audit. About 2 or 3 years now, they've been threatening to audit me over $5,000 that they assume I owe them, when in actuality they owe me $5,000.
Somebody else. I believe in you. Where's
Here you go.
Do I want to see this?
Yeah. It's the tolerant left.
Where's the third assassin? Show yourself. Third time's the charm, babe. Somebody, not
What a
me,
fucking
not
loser.
me, FBI. Somebody else. I believe in you.
Not you,
Where's
not
the
you.
third
Guess what? You're
assassin?
still
Show-
breaking a law, moron. I can't wait till some of these people find out that we still have laws that are 200 years old that will get you deported just for making statements like that. Just because they haven't been enforced in a long time does not mean they don't exist. They absolutely exist and have.
So crazy.
I mean, one of the oldest laws on the books, the Supreme Court will uphold it too. If you desecrate an American flag, you can be deported. It's considered an act of treason to desecrate an American flag. And yet we see these idiots cutting them up, burning them, using them as tablecloths. You literally could, 100 years ago, if you'd used the American flag as a tablecloth, you would have been deported.
Mm-hmm.
And these laws didn't disappear. They're still laws. They just haven't been enforced, so people don't realize they exist.
All right. So I've got something pretty important to talk about here. It's about what you're going to put on your plate tomorrow for Thanksgiving. So the only acceptable things to be on your plate at Thanksgiving are turkey and stuffing. I will die on this hill.
No, you had to have mashed potatoes, corn,
Nope.
gravy.
Nope.
Yep.
Don't need any of that. That's all
Need
just
all
a
that.
bunch of bull crap.
Corn's the most important part of Thanksgiving. That's it. It started with corn. They used corn to make their bread. They used corn to make everything back then.
I don't want any damn corn.
One of the biggest commodities Indians had was corn. So it's got to be corn.
Oh.
Imagine if instead of the bald eagle, we did wind up with the turkey like Franklin wanted.
I'm okay with that.
We wouldn't be allowed to eat it.
I
Think
don't
about
know.
it.
You think so?
You're not allowed to kill a bald eagle because it's the national bird. If it would have been a turkey, we would never be eating turkey again.
I don't know if they would. I don't think that would have stuck. I think it would have been, it's the national bird and we're still going to eat it because they all ate turkeys.
Maybe that's why they said, nah, Benny, we're not doing that. We're not doing turkey. Maybe that's why.
We like to eat them too much.
I don't know. I mean, I love it. I eat it, but it's not a very like exciting meat to me. It is.
No,
what it
it's
is.
not that great. That's why we only eat it like once a year.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I'd just as soon have some steaks.
Me too. But on Thanksgiving, I just, you know.
And you know what? One Thanksgiving I made ham. I glazed a ham. Everybody said, no turkey? I said, yeah, no fucking turkey.
We usually have both. I'm not a ham guy though. Not a
You
big
just
fan.
haven't had my ham before.
Just
Tell
not
you
a
what,
big fan of ham. Sometimes I like it every once in a while, but not very often.
I make a glaze. I use brown sugar, maple syrup, and cherry coke. And that shit gets good. Then I put a jar of maraschino cherries with the syrup in it.
That's good stuff.
That shit is slamming. Everybody always wants to do some pineapple. No, man. Fuck that.
Oh, Ben Stiller went over to Blue Sky. I'm so sad.
Of course he did.
That sucks, man, because I like a lot of Ben Stiller's movies.
Yeah, there's quite a few of these guys that I really liked for years, and now I won't fucking support them whatsoever.
Man, there's just some stuff on X that just I get annoyed by. People asking stupid questions for engagement. Like,
Yep.
It's all about engagement. Nobody wants to have conversations. They all just want to try to get likes.
I mean, to be fair, it pays money, so.
Yeah, I know. I agree. I just
No, it annoys the
wish more
shit out of me.
people
Do
had
you
it.
never see me with those dumbass posts?
No, I would never.
I
just
don't
post
make them.
stupid shit.
I don't make them, and I never will make them.
Oh, it's reposting my video. That's good. Let's see what happens. Oh, well. Anyway, we've been going for a while.
Yeah, I didn't have
Alright.
a lot prepared this
Me
time,
either.
guys. Sorry, whoever's watching. I just been a long week. Had nothing really prepared for you, but
Yeah, it's been a long week. It's a holiday tomorrow. Everybody's out drinking, probably.
yep.
Nobody's coming
I
around to
don't know. I
watch.
never understood that fad, drinking the night before Thanksgiving.
I think it has a lot to do with just there's, most people go to other people's houses to eat, and so it's kind of like a free day. You don't have to get up early tomorrow. I think I went out a few times when I was younger, in my 20s, but I was never huge into the bar scene or anything. So
Yeah, me neither. I never understood it.
went out to see bands and stuff, and that's about it.
Just like now, you got like, what is it? St. Patrick's Day. Like, how did a day for remembering a saint turn into the day to get hammered, drunk, black out?
Because the saint was Irish.
What's that?
Because it's an Irish saint.
I guess. Weird, man.
Yeah, I never really. I mean, I guess we went out drinking a couple times on St. Patrick's Day. Not too often.
Yeah,
but
I've gone out once or twice on it because other people were like, "Hey, come out," but I've never understood the draw. Like why? Like I don't know, but I'm also the type that doesn't understand why anybody would want to go drink a bunch of booze at a bar anyway.
It's pretty expensive.
Like buy yourself a bottle of Blue Label. It'll last you the rest of the year. It's good. Or
I will say there was one time I went to like a remembrance thing at a bar for someone who had passed away. It was my buddy's wife died of cancer. So he had like
I get that.
He rented out like the whole bar. And I went there with another buddy and we were drinking Stella. I used to be a big Stella fan. But yeah, it was, I mean, I go through fads. But only me and him, we were the only two people. There wasn't a ton of people there. It was probably like, I don't know, 50 people there. And me and him were the only people drinking Stella. We knew the bar owner. And it was getting to the end of the night. It was late. It was like 1:45 or 2 in the morning. And we're talking to the bar owner. And she's like looking at the bar tab. And he had to spend, it was some absurd amount of money on alcohol for this thing. And we were looking at the bill and how much had been spent already. And there were 46 Stellas on the bill. And she told me and my buddy we were the only two people drinking Stella.
Yep.
So we had each drank 23 Stellas. And I mean, we were there for quite a long time, but and then there was still like an absurd amount of money that needed to be spent. It was like $2,300 or something.
Yeah.
So we got like these crazy expensive shots.
Because he like prepaid.
Yeah.
Right?
So she's just pouring she didn't care. She's pouring the drinks. It's all paid for anyway. It was insanity, man. That was the most I've ever drank in one night for sure. Pretty sure I died that night. Then we went to Denny's.
Pretty sure he died, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do wind up at a Denny's after that.
Yep. Denny's at 3 a.m. Whew, that was a time.
There's a guy that's got a song called Denny's at 4 a.m., I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's like let me see if I can find it. He's like a comedian musician. Let me see. Or one song. This is Wally Pleasant.
Wally Pleasant.
I know nobody didn't buy this CD to get mellow tonight. I say no tonight. If anyone bought
Just funny words in all his songs. He won't strike us.
the day Ted Nugent killed all the animals, the day Ted Nugent killed all the animals, he did it so he could bond with his male friends. He did it so they could broadcast it on ESPN. And when the news hit the wire, Greenpeace activists were crying in their hankies. They hadn't heard anything so awful since the first record by Damn Yankees. It was the day Ted Nugent killed all the animals.
What a tune. Oh my God.
I mean, I don't know if it. Yeah, it is. Denny's at 4 a.m.
And too drunk to drive. So I drove around till I found my destination about 3:25. I was too tired to sleep and too drunk to drive. And now I'm at Denny's at 4 a.m. Writing these words on a napkin.
Yeah, he just like wrote it.
Not even sure what town I'm in. Denny's at 4 a.m.
I haven't heard. I ain't even thought about that guy in like 20 years or something. But
Oh
when
my
you
gosh.
said that, it reminded me. He was funny, man. He was a funny guy. I don't know whatever happened. I guess it didn't. His career didn't take off. I guess too much or something. I don't know. Oh shit. Well, I think we're called on this one.
Yeah,
I'm pretty tired.
we weren't super lively. Didn't have anything lined up.
No, I'll have stuff prepared for next week.
Yeah, I may try to do something this weekend. I got a guy I want to bring on to talk about some police officer PTSD stuff. I've been talking to him about doing it for a couple weeks now, but our times have never lined up, but I'm sure he's going to be free sometime this weekend.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
Yeah, I'm going to bring him on, have a chat about it. I think it's a good idea. I'm going to try and get 2 of my buddies on to talk about it, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, it's been
let
fun.
me know.
It's been real. Yeah, I'll let you know what's going on.
Thanks for watching, guys. Like,
Yeah.
share, subscribe, the whole thing. Do it all.
You know the thing.
Yeah.
Come check us out. Yeah, come check us out. I've got a TikTok. Anybody's interested. These are cheap selling out videos. I understand that. CMerc 80 on TikTok. Just started doing them for fun. It's been fun having engagement, getting in conversations with people, watching people melt down about my videos. It's a lot of fun.
Is that it right there?
Yeah, that's it.
Yep.
Come check it out. Just laugh with us, have fun. It's a good time.
Thanks for being with us, guys.
All right. Later.